Hey, welcome back to the shop. We got something cool here for you today. This is our new MIG and TIG welder. I was so happy with our, 325 DPI for doing all the aluminum work. I figured I would reward Everlast with another purchase. So we actually sold our Miller machine. It was getting tired and it was time to go. And I bought us a brand new state-of-the-art-ish MIG machine and TIG machine. Which should do double duty. It'll MIG, set up for MIG steel, and it's going to, I won't say replace, but it's going to take a lot of the workload off our little Harbor Freight Pro TIG 200, which has been bulletproof, reliable, perfect out of the box. My only complaint I ever had on it was I wish it had had a post-flow timer, because you use a lot more argon when you're tacking and stuff like that. You waste a lot of gas. But that thing was like 900 bucks with a coupon when I bought it. It is 10 years old, or almost 10 years old. Never given me a lick of trouble. Love it. Still say buy one of those. Actually, the new one I think has a post-flow timer on it. Anyways, back to this thing. This one is not available in Canada. The 275 is, but the 275P is not. And I bought this from the American distributor. We're not far from the Blue Water Bridge. So I zipped over, claim it, pay my taxes and my duties on it. It was a little bit more money. It's actually cheaper to buy the welders in Canada right now if you factor in the dollar, other than the taxes and stuff that you have to pay on it. It is cheaper, I think, because they're not getting tariffed because of where these are made. But I was really disappointed with the customer service that I got on this machine from the Canadian franchisor or whatever, the Canadian place. So I've just gone right back to the best troubleshooting, technical support, everything is the US guys. And I really hope the Canadian guys can do better, but I wasn't ready to spend any more money with them. Went direct to Everlast USA, got this machine, cart, welder. I had another cooler. So that isn't the exact cooler that they recommended, but it fit together pretty good. The only issue is there's nothing to tie them together. So eventually I'm gonna have to make some little brackets just to sort of stiffen it up, but it's pretty good the way it is. Machine arrived, shipped pretty fast, no major issues. Did have shipping damage. The end of the plug, which there's been a few guys on the Everlast forums are receiving them. The plug was kind of in the top of the box, and it was just crushed. I spent probably 10 minutes straightening it out with some pliers. Probably should put a new plug end on it, but it's okay for now. It was missing, you put these plastic things on, it only came with two bolts. I don't know if you can see down there, there's no bolts there, no bolts there. So I stole one from back here and put it here. I'm gonna reach out to Everlast at some point, and I'm sure their customer service is the best in the world. If you're in business, you should buy an Everlast welder just to experience their customer service, their US customer service, and then model your customer service after theirs. The other issue is you can see this back bezel is broken. It doesn't stop us from running the machine, but I said I'm gonna ask them to send me a new one of those and I'll take it apart on a Saturday and fix it. But the welder runs. I'm really, really happy with it. So then the mods and the upgrades that I've done, I wanna show you. This is really the cool stuff. So I bought a second regulator. This thing does have dual input, one for MIG, one for TIG. I do not have time or patience for setting up welders. I don't have time or patience to set up, my lathe or my milling machine, really. Like, it just takes time and time and time. If you're busy and you gotta get something done, I don't have time to switch regulators around. That's where you make mistakes. So I just got a second regulator. I'm set up for, I got my argon and my MIG gas. That's set up, no issue. That's why with the DPI, yes, I could weld aluminum with this, but I don't have an hour to switch the spools over and screw around with consumables and everything. So that machine, plug it in, hook the ground up, pull the trigger, and you're welding aluminum. This I've kind of modeled the same way. I put 045 mild steel in this. We'll open that up real quick and show you what it looks like inside. 045 mild steel. I've gone ahead and 3D printed a little cubby just for my consumables because there's dead space in there. seems to be working. I am gonna redo the design. There's 3 screws in there, and I'm actually gonna indent it in the design so that it kind of locks it in a little better, but I needed a spot to put stuff. That's dead space, so that's what we're doing. I stuck my Nova torch thing there, so I know where to find that. I said 045 wire, pretty happy with that. Other mods that I've done is came with 2 of these hooks for hanging stuff. I built another set as closely matched as I could, because there is not enough places to hang stuff. So doesn't matter what brand of welder it is, you need put more hooks on, more hooks, make these things look like a porcupine. So I made a couple more of these, bolted them on. I did break a bolt off in this. Alignment on some of these parts isn't great. Don't be surprised if you got to file a couple holes to get things lined up. But I like that they put, I don't like that they put a really cheap shitty ground on these, but in the same breath is, I can buy a new one of these for whatever it costs, and it's just a quick plug and play. I'd rather them spend the money on the inside of the machine and save the money here, save the money and make a little bit shittier cart, and spend the money in the welder. And that's what it seems like they do. They're pretty good, reliable machines so far. And like I said, when I cook this clamp in pretty soon, I'll put a new one on it and be done with it. So two hold downs, or two hold up tie things or hangers. I'm gonna move this MIG holder over to this side at some point. But here's the cool other things we've done. So came with a 10-foot TIG torch, and it came with a button on it for starts. I took that crap off because the TIG 10-foot torch is what I'm gonna use when I'm working at the bench. It came with a pedal that's wired. I ordered the North wireless pedal, and I used one on my buddy's Miller years ago, and it is, I know you got ground wire and all kinds of stuff, and grinders and just cords everywhere. Getting that one cord out of your life is just amazing. So it was a bit of a splurge, but I bought the North wireless pedal. Love it. Still getting a little bit used to it. I feel like there's maybe the slightest delay when you're getting off it at the end of an arc, but I'm not sure. It might just be me getting used to the machine too. So the other thing I bought was 25-foot TIG lead, 25-foot TIG lead, right? And I bought the Nova thumb throttle thing. I have not even used it yet. I'm looking forward to that. We do a lot of stuff on boats, and we do a lot of stuff way out of position. And I've done all of that boat and out of position stuff with the old Harbor Freight welder with the TIG pedal. So there's been times where I'm lying on my belly and doing push-ups with my elbows to press and release the pedal to run it. We've been really weird positions. I'm really looking forward to. I think this is gonna change my life. Back to the wireless pedal. My only complaint on the wireless pedal is it uses a wireless receiver. Unlike, say, the Millers, where they're just like a big kind of plug that plugs into the front of the machine and it's self-powered. This thing needs 220 or 110 volts to power it, and then it also has a cord for charging the pedal. So you would need to plug the pedal into the wall somewhere, let it charge overnight. It does have an incredibly long battery in it, but keep that in mind. And then you'd be expected to plug this receiver into the wall, but this receiver will run on, this AC adapter will run on either 110 or 220. So what I did is made up a box and intercepted the 220 coming out of the back of the welder that goes to the cooler. So now we've sort of pigtailed into this guy, and I'm sure it's not to code, it's the way it is. Now I can plug everything in. Now I am really truly wireless. All I need to do is plug into the wall, connect my ground, and I'm starting to TIG, right? So that was, I really felt that was unacceptable, having to run another power source to the welder. So that's how I accomplished it. You do you. I take no responsibility. If it doesn't work, shocks you, burns you down, kills you, whatever, it's your problem. This is what I did. It worked really, really good for me. I said, loving the TIG pedal. It is a game changer. Other couple mods. So yeah, the other couple mods. I put a little extension foot on so I can get 2 tanks on the cart. You need 2 gases, and I don't want to be screwing around switching stuff over. Put these little cheesy side guides on. I probably could have done a little bit better work, but I want to get to work and start playing with my new welder. So if I'm going to switch from the short TIG with the pedal to the long TIG with the thumb control, all I have to do is disconnect this, disconnect my argon, disconnect this wire, which is all toolless, right? As soon as I gotta get tools out, slowing me down, and then plug this guy in, pull this out of here, plug that in, and now I'm ready to go up on a step ladder and TIG weld something on a boat. It's a pain in the butt. So really liking the machine. I'm sure they're gonna take care of me if I have any trouble. I'm sure they're gonna send me the parts I need. So they are the best in the business for customer service. The last mod that I did, I think you guys will think this is really cool. This was a cooler that I had from a different adventure, so I didn't need to buy a new cooler, and it fit great. Screws fit great underneath everything, but I built this manifold, and just a piece of angle aluminum with a bunch of holes. Bought these all on, I think, AliExpress, and here's what's going on. We got cold water coming out. It goes out to the 10-foot TIG torch, comes back from the 10-foot TIG torch, goes in, comes out of here through this jumper. I've got plans for the jumper. We'll talk about that in a minute. Back in, out to the 25-foot TIG torch, back in, back into the cooler. Because you're only going to run one device at a time, and the water coming back from the torch isn't really that hot because it's constantly flowing. So it's not like it's going to hurt any other equipment. So this allows me to run multiple things off of one cooler, all in a kind of package. The plan for this jumper is, when I financially recover, I'm going to take that MIG gun, which is a 15-foot MIG gun, off of the 325 DPI, and I'm going to put it on here. So I'm going to go from having a 10-foot gun to a 15, and I'm going to go from having an air-cooled gun to having water-cooled, because it's just decadent. It's so nice working with water-cooled. Then the 325, I'm going to treat it to a North water-cooled push-pull rig, because that's what that really needs. I do have it working pretty good. I'm running, what am I running? I'm running a little bit stiffer wire through it. I'd have to talk about that later. But I tried to run 4043 through it, and it would just keep bird nesting. So I went to a slightly stiffer wire, and I've had pretty good luck. But I'd like to run 4043 through it eventually, and it still isn't perfect. You know, nothing's going to replace the push-pull. So I'm going to spend the $3 grand and get a push-pull for that, and then that thing will be a rock star aluminum welding machine. And then move the parts over to here, and this thing's going to be, you know, pretty kick-ass. So anyways, this is how I've got it set up so far. There might be some changes. Instead, I'm going to reprint that little cubby in there, get my missing hardware. But thumbs up, the machine works really good. I'm still learning how to run the pulse for steel. I feel like it still likes to burn undercut a fair bit when I'm running pulse, so I just got to learn a little bit more about how each setting affects the next. It's so much different than just regular DC MIG. So anyways, love the machine so far. Just started TIGging with it today, and these are sort of my samples as we kind of tried a bunch of different stuff, and that's kind of where I left off. So it's got the potential to really be a good machine. I think I'm gonna be happy with it. We're gonna work it really hard, and I think we've got it set up to to just be so much more pleasant to use than the old Harbor Freight. And the Harbor Freight will still get some action, but this thing kicks its butt pretty good. So anyways, you know, when it comes to welders, if it's worth doing, it's worth doing, I don't know, too many times. I can't count that high. Thanks for watching.